What is up, Earthnoids and Spacenoids? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we're continuing our coverage of Mobile Suit Gundam Advance of Zeta. Last time, a Federation member defected and fled to an AUG vessel. This was the first time Iliad wondered if the Titans are making the right choice. In the present, Conrad leaked intel to the press, and one sensationalist newspaper tries to publish the story. This time, the writer of the article goes on the run. In the past, the Titans test team heads to Earth to help take out a Karaba base, and Audrey pilots a new variant of Hazel. So let's get into this. Conrad wakes up to Hendrik, Carl, and Audrey looking at the TV. They're watching the news where the Federation raided a local newspaper. The editor-in-chief tells the viewers that this is suppression of free speech. They are forcing them to recall today's newspapers. Joanna happened to get a copy before it was recalled. The article was about the 2 Federation soldiers that broke into Conrad's home. The 2 soldiers were named in the article as well. In order for the Feddies to raid the newspaper, they needed the judiciary courts to sign off on it. Not only did they do that, but they did this swiftly. Conrad is the type of guy that understands that the world sucks, but he puts his faith in the judicial system. If he doesn't have that, then this is nothing more than totalitarianism. He is losing faith in the system. But he wonders how determined this Michael Chang is. Once they begin publishing again, he needs to double down. The journalist seems to be on board if it sells. Remember, journalism comes second to selling papers. He and Joanna plan on going to the Justice Bureau. Carl wonders if they are crossing a dangerous bridge. Conrad says if they play dirty, maybe they have to play dirty. Things are different during this hearing. Everyone is uneasy. Conrad tells Elliot about the Federation soldiers that tried to shoot Hendrik and Audrey. Gordon continues asking similar questions regarding the Colony 30 incident and the incident with the Ashimar. The Commodore tells him to ask something new or end their line of questioning. The prosecution rests their case. The judge reminds both of them that he won't tolerate any more wasting of the court's time. The court is adjourned for the day. March UC 0087. The Aswan orbits Earth. The Hazel is equipped for use in Earth's atmosphere, and Fiverr is good to go. A Salamis Kai-class ship will run support. This is the Izmir. Grips is giving them the Izmir, but they don't have any mobile suits. So Captain Otto Peterson is transferring them to the other ship. In this mission, they are to attack a secret Karaba base. The Fiverr and all of the test mobile suits will be transferred with them. He tells them to prepare for the mission. Carl thinks that this is crazy that they are going to use test units in active battle. Having Karaba work with the AUG shows that this is a full-out war now. They approach the Izmir and begin transferring mobile suits. During the transfer, the alarms go off. 3 AUG mobile suits approach their 3 o'clock. They have to protect the Izmir and the Fiverr. The 3 approaching units are Gem 2s. Quickly, Elliot and Murphy do some damage to the Gems and swiftly make the retreat. Murphy says what a way to be greeted to the Earth sphere. Back on the Zanzibar, we learn that Larson lost a leg during the previous battle with the Titans mobile suits. He doesn't think he has a purpose anymore. But Zola tells him as long as he lives, that's all that matters. Their existence is enough for Zeon. It seems Zola is leaning towards having their Zeon remnant group join the AUG as they are at least fighting for the Spacenoids. Larson was hoping that they would join Axis, but they can't wait forever, and they aren't sure which direction Axis will lean towards in this war. They are to rendezvous with the ship in 10 minutes. From this day forward, their Zanzibar will be a part of the AUG. When in battle, he could find a place of peace even during all the chaos. When Elliot was imprisoned, his mindset was that he was a dead man walking, but Conrad gave him hope. For the first time, Elliot even thought about what he would do if he were freed. His mindset switched, and he wanted to live. His first thoughts were that he would want to return to the battlefield. He wants to be in a mobile suit again. He now desires to win. UC 0088. Sure enough, the sight of the editor Michael Chang on TV spouting suppression of free speech worked, as it boosted sales of the newspaper. Ryu Kirishima, the writer of the article, needs to lay low. He was planning on bailing in the middle of the night, but as he was leaving, military vehicles pulled up to his place. We learn his real intentions for writing the article was that he wanted to date Conrad's assistant Joanna, and is merely trying to impress her. Dude's willing to risk it all for Fetty Puss. He knew he was being used by her, but he thought it was worth it. Oh boy, I think that might be the textbook definition of a simp. As they surround his house, he gets into his car and takes off. They aren't going to risk shooting Kirishima and having a scandal on their hands. He takes off down the street. UC 0087. Captain of the Izmir, Thomas Schrader, orders Murphy and the team to head down to Earth to take out a terrorist group that is backed by the AUG. Audrey mentions that the captain's name back in the day was Icicle because he is cold as ice and really sharp. He also never let a single subordinate die. He was commanding a Salamis-class ship during the 1-year war when he was still just in his 20s. The hangar preps the Hazel II, and the Rosette. The team meets Jonathan Cohen, the chief mechanic of the Izmir. He introduces Rachel Sand. The Fiver can enter the atmosphere and bring 2 mobile suits with it. They are going to attack the Hazel II and the Rosette. The mechanics are excited to work with something so beastly, so to speak. The pilots seem like they're in good hands. The Fiver launches and enters into Earth's atmosphere. They modified the Hazel II into what they are calling the Advanced Hazel. The RX-121-2A GUNDAM TR-1 Advanced Hazel is a remodeled version of Hazel II. It has a high-powered optical sensor just like the GEM Sniper 3. Leg enhancements and supplemental boosters have been added. The shield booster was tested on the Garibaldi, but after its pilot defected, the Hazel was used, giving it this new designation. The shield booster contains propellant tanks and a single thruster with an output of 22,000 kilograms. Weapons include 60mm Vulcans, a beam saber, a beam rifle, a 90mm machine gun, and a shield. The Fiver begins entering into the gravitational well of Earth. Zola looks up at the Ashimara that was captured by the AU. He recounts his battles with Murphy. Up until this moment, he was working with inferior mobile suits. If he could get his hands on a modern mobile suit, that could change everything for him. Zola talks to an AU officer. They have an awkward first interaction. Great first impression, buddy. The Izmir became the new test ship, while the Aswan focused more on fighting the AU. One of the new pilots is Ensign Claude Leibel. On the Izmir, Audrey and the team are gossiping about this new pilot. She thinks that Murphy is still the best. Audrey will be piloting the Advanced Zeta, while Claude will be piloting the Hududu. The Hududu is similar to the G-Fighter of the 1-year war, reminding them that this isn't all about mobile suits. These two are engaged in a simulated battle. She notes that the additions to the unit allow it to snipe and support others, instead of being limited to short-range assaults. The two engage in battle. Audrey's tenacity isn't enough for the Hududu. She understands what Elliot meant when he said it's like riding a wild beast. She realized she overused the thrusters, and Claude was patient and waited it out. After the battle, Audrey notes that she used too much of her thrusters too early. She wants to update the operating system to rival the next generation of mobile suits. The red alert goes off on the ship, and Audrey is told to launch. She looks up and notes that the Hududu is attached to the Hazel Advance. They haven't tested this unit yet, so she is mad that she will have to do it live on the battlefield. The captain says that there are 3 Gem 2s that belong to the AU. They won't receive any support from the Aswan. She launches in this new unit called Hazel-Rah. The RX-121 plus the FX-29A GUNDAM TR-1 Hazel-Rah is a combination of the Hududu and the Hazel Custom. This adds additional thrusters to the Hazel and binders that provide high mobility. When equipped with the Hududu parts, the Hazel Custom's beam rifle becomes a long blade rifle that can be used for long-range sniper attacks. Other weapons include a beam saber, Vulcans, a shield booster, and a multi-purpose launcher. Audrey's unit is superior in every way. She is agile enough to take out the 2 gems. The final one retreats. She whips out the long blade rifle and snipes the remaining unit. She does like that this mobile suit is quite useful. Karaba's Kamchatka base is built on an abandoned mining site. The Ashimar that was stolen is supposed to make its way to the base soon. The alarms go off. Zola is informed of base jabbers coming in. He is a Zeon remnant of the former Space Forces. Subflight systems for use in Earth's atmosphere are still a new concept to him. The Ashimar is going to be assigned to Zola's team, but since it hasn't arrived, he wants to use a mobile suit. There's only a gem available for use. Based on his bombastic reaction, he probably never piloted a Fetty mobile suit before. He takes off and meets with the base defense team of Nemos. They are fighting Hyzax and Marasides. It throws Zola off as both of those designs look inherently like Zaku's. He also being in a gem is disorienting him. He shoots a base jabber. One friendly Nemo explodes, but it causes another base jabber to be taken down. The Marasai and Hyzax drop down on the ground, like many Zeon soldiers. Seeing the Federation take the Zaku design and use it for their own means is a great insult to Zola. That is when ballistic missiles come down on the base. Something approaches from the sky. 1 month ago, the AU launched an assault on Jaburo and the Titans vacated the base. Most of the operations were transferred to Kilimanjaro, but there were various bases throughout North America that assumed control of some operations. The Titans test team began their testing of the Fiber, while Elliot boards the Hazel Custom and Carl the Rosette. This was taking place at Nevada base. They're heading to Kamchatka base. strapped to ballistic rockets. They're shooting up into the stratosphere and dropping down to the Russian Karaba base. They launch. Elliot is pinned back from all the G's. No different from your astronauts of yesteryear. He thinks humans shouldn't be attached to missiles. They go up and drop down to enemy airspace. Hazel and Rosette detach from the fiver. The fiver dives and transforms into mobile suit form, and enemies withdraw from the side of the mobile suit. And that will do it for this episode. We didn't really spend too much time in the present, but in the past, Zola became an AUG member. His fleet was on the verge of death, and he made a decision that would save his people. We are getting to crazier designs of Advanced Zeta, and it only gets crazier from here. Next time, Kirishima runs away from the Federation. The battle at Kamchatka Base will continue, and Conrad will realize that they need to talk to Gabriel Zola. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember, for many Zeon remnants during this time, the enemy of my enemy was indeed their friend. Peace.